Yo, what up, players? This is Maddie here on Just for Fun. I'm gonna play and record some matches with blue, black, red, Devoid, Ingest, Eldrazi, whatever you want to call this. This is the invasion. The invasion. And, this is more of a theme deck. This is a deck that is a slave to a theme with very few concessions to, play, right? So what we've done here is, first of all, it's pretty low curve, and yet we have 24 land, and there's always, I think the reason for that is we have 15 3-drops, and if you want to be playing 2 things a turn, you need to have enough land. So still a pretty pleasant curve, especially considering this is usually like this. So really it's more like that. So let's go through some of the card choices, and again, the reasons why we selected these cards are more for flavor. So let me go on a brief aside here and say that not every deck has to be about winning or comboing or doing something crazy. Sometimes it can just be about enjoying the theme and the story, and the Eldrazi story is about, aliens that come and invade and kill the whole land and destroy all the inhabitants and take over and eat mines and all this kind of crazy stuff. So Sludge Crawler getting in there as a 1-drop that scales well. This ability used to be called Shade. There were a group of creatures that every creature that was pumpable was called a Shade. The nice thing about it is it triggers Ingest, for your processing spells. And yeah, again, it scales well into the late game. It's not a dead 1-drop. When you have 6 mana out, you can pump it to a 4/4, and then it's pretty decent attacker still in the late game. Ghostfire Blade. All of these creatures with Devoid are colorless, and so Ghostfire Blade works really well with them. It helps your smaller dudes get over across through for damage through bigger blockers. Fathom Feeder does the same kind of thing. It's good on both offense and defense. It's good offensively, even though it only deals 1, because it threatens to trade with any blocker, so it tends to get in there for Ingest pretty often, and then the draw card ability is relevant in the late game. So another creature that's good early, good late. Forerunner, good early, good late. Can give things haste, is just 3/2 for 2, which is always pretty decent, pretty good creature. Endless One, another card that scales really well throughout the game. This is a perfect example of a card that's always relevant at any turn, so pretty great card, always happy to draw that. Murderous Cut is in here as a concession to the fact that I needed one thing that can get rid of Fat, because that's what the deck has a lot of trouble with, is playing against Fat. Ruination Guide pumps the team. Any kind of tribal deck, you need a Lord, and this is the active Lord. Wasteland Strangler is our removal tempo kind of card. Very good when you can activate its ability, not so great when you can't, but still playable. So always happy to see one of those in your hand. Molten Nursery is there mostly for flavor, but it does get value with almost every single spell in the deck being colorless. You can do a lot of pinging, really good against weenie strategies, a lot of tokens and whatever that are out there, and just an alternate way of getting those last points of damage through. Vile Aggregate is your Tarmogoyf, basically. It's huge. It's always huge. It's always an X5. Which is great. So it's great at blocking, clogging up the ground. Also, the trample makes it really good at attacking, getting in an ingest trigger when you need it. Herald, one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite card in this set. It just does a lot. It's an engine card, and I think there will be ways to break this card. It's a great card. Anything that reduces mana, it breaks the rules of the game. So allows you also play this into two other 3-drops basically on turn 4. Because it's reducing each of them by 1. So that's another reason why we're so heavy on 3s. Nullifier is, nobody plays around this yet, and you know, the processing cost is heavy, unfortunately. The two cards were not totally built for ingesting. A straight blue-black version would probably be better. But the reason why I insisted on playing red is because I really wanted to play Brutal Expulsion. When this card is at its best, it is brutal. It really is. It's just a beast of a card. You know, remand something, kill a small creature or planeswalker, kill 2 creatures at instant speed. I mean, you can do a lot with the save your dude, kill something. I mean, it does a lot. There's also a lot of like enchantment based removal right now, and this allows you to bounce your dude, you know, get him back. Gruesome Slaughter is kind of like a Plague Wind for 6 mana. 6 is asking a lot in this deck, but you know, with the Heralds occasionally that helps, and you know, this can really upset your opponent. Sideboard, again, not fully thought out. Just a mix of some other spells I was considering for the deck. Not really something worth looking at. What I would play would be Transgress the Mind, which I don't have in the sideboard right now. I don't know why, but yeah, it's a fun deck. I had a lot of fun playing it. Aside from the lands, this entire deck cost me less than 3 tickets, so definitely a budget strategy. And again, if you wanted to push it more on the ingest side, I would suggest going straight blue-black with the 2 mana flyer and the 3 mana 1/4, and you know, 4 nullifiers. Maybe just splash for expulsion if you need it. Yeah, that would be maybe a better version of the deck, but I wanted to try some of these red cards too, so that's why we did it more variety, more fun with our invasion. I had fun making and playing with the deck. Again, not a very competitive deck, but it's fun. It's definitely something, you know, if you wanted to have like an allies versus Eldrazi dual deck, like this could be the Eldrazi side, something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy watching and playing. Peace.